1031.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing top 10 Berdly ships, or BS for short. Now I just want to say before I start the video, okay, basically yeah, these are all my opinions and my opinions alone, and yeah, so basically yeah, I just want to say that all BS is valid, okay? At number 10, we have Berdly x Birdley, or Birdley as the fandom likes to call it. This is a very good ship because these two have a lot in common and they share the same experiences. Only downside is that these two have never been in the same room together in canon. At number 9, we have Berdly x Delta Fell Birdley. Okay, so basically you have a badass and an evil badass in a relationship together. And honestly, the sexual tension is palpable. At number 8, we have Berdly x Caddy, or Batty for short. You have one of the minions of the main villain falling in love with the main hero. Much like Berdly x Fell Birdley, this one has an enemies to lovers type thing going on with it. Caddy doesn't say much and Birdley says a lot. So they're a bit like Een and Yo in that way, so it's like good contrast. 7 is 7 comes 7 is 7 with comes 7 Birdemi, which is a ship between Birdly well-endowed Masterlord and Temmie. This ship is very cute. Temmie is a cute homunculus, and Birdly is the cutest character in all of gaming, so this ship is very kawaii. I imagine Temmie speaking in her Tem speak, and it annoying Birdly at first, but he eventually gets used to it and overcomes the need to correct Tem's grammar. I know there are a lot of folk out there that don't ship Birdly with Temmie because of the fact she is based on the game's character artist, Tim Burton. But if you can get over that, it is a very cute ship indeed. Kinda wholesome, AF, NGL. Berdly x Chris. Gotta admit, this one is pretty heartwarming. And cute. On a meta level, you have the hero of the game and Chris going out with each other. So right there is contrast. Chris has determination, and Birdly has, gotta say, funniest ship here on a conceptual level. Birdly being the one that taught Chris how to play the piano as well is a nice touch. But I just need to call out the fandom for a second. I hear a lot of people call this ship Crispy Chicken.
What?
Crispy Chicken? Really? Come on guys. Chris is not that much of a coward. They've been shown to actually be pretty brave, like at the end of chapter 1 and stuff.
Wow.
I know next to Birdly they look pretty cowardly, but so do most game characters compared to Birdly. Leave this timid background character alone. Blasting off at number 5 rides Berdonico. Birdly Masterlord x Deltarune Kaneko Ketsukane. Oh man, this ship right here is freaking cool. Kaneko and Birdly would make for a sweet and awesome couple. Both Kaneko and Birdly are geniuses with superpowered minds, and both have a knack for invention. They both rescue the day from sure destruction, and are both tragic heroes in their own right, fighting against a grim fate put onto them as the result of the envy of W.D. Gaster. Birdly tends to be someone who fairly assists a given situation within the parameters it exists in, whereas Kaneko is a more out-of-the-box thinker that would really bring Birdly out of his comfort zone, and maybe even to another planet. These two would stimulate each other, both intellectually and sexually, both pushing the other to be the best versions of themselves.
Yeah!
The hero of space and time, and the canine mechanical. This ship has got a blast. Popping fresh out the microwave, we have Birdsay, the ship between Birdly and Ralsei. Oh yeah, this ship right here it's just straight up rough. These two would rule over a kingdom and absolutely boy boss the hell out of that shit. Birdley is already a valiant warrior of brave intelligence, and fighting on behalf of his prince to protect him and stuff is like super cute and epic sauce. Both Birdley and Rousey feel like they have to perform a certain way to justify their existence, so on an emotional level, these two have a life experience kinship that could enhance their already blatant sexual tension. Both struggle with loneliness, and I think the idea of these two lonely kings finding love with each other to be both poetic, cute, as well as, yes, epic. I also like the idea of Birdley insisting on calling Rousey Prince Rousey, and Rousey being like, "You don't have to be so formal," and then Birdley being like, "Oh, I am simply but following the knight's code, Prince Rousey." And like over time, he would like get really flustered by it and stuff, and I think that would be cute. Now we're on to ships that are basically a part of the narrative within the game, and the first one we have up here is Berdly, the ship between Berdly Masterlord and Noelle Holiday. Now, on the surface, this ship may seem like the stock basic childhood friends ship, but au contraire, mon frère, this ship has so many more layers than one might think at first glance. This one is laid on pretty thick within the game. Toby really doesn't want people to miss this, so it's like always kind of shoved in your face. But much like fat, juicy cheeks, this is something that is freaking thematically interesting to be shoved in your face. Noelle is a character that has trouble speaking up for herself, whereas Birdley feels they need to speak excessively to be heard. It's obvious to everyone who's played the game that this is going to lead to an emotionally intense confession scene, but predictable as it is, much like decapitating someone, it's all about the execution. Their bond is one of the most wholesome and deep parts of the game, as well as an important part of the narrative and Birdley's sacrifice. Noelle being the most precious thing to Birdley is incredibly sweet, and I think I speak for everyone when I say I wish I had a partner like that for real. Despite this, Noelle's fear of rejection and pushing Birdley away is a source of conflict for this ship. Very tragic that to keep her safe from the prophecy, he had to use friend zone on her. But that was only to keep her safe. Birdley is so tragic, for real. Hell yeah, Birdsy motherfucker. This ship is goated, with and without sauce. Birdsy is the ship between Birdley Well-Endowed Masterlord and Susie Elma Octagon. Okay, these two right here were made for each other, NGL. I'm not yanking your chain. I mean, straight from chapter 1, we can see the signs. Susie and Birdley are first presented to us as a nerd archetype and a bully archetype, cast out from their peers as a result of the personas they put on to combat their own emotional problems. Needless to say, though I'll say it anyway, these two know each other's pain, like a damn psychic connection almost. This I believe to be the reason why in-game Susie has such an intense passion for Birdley that she barely keeps hidden. While not quite as much of a thirst demon as Noelle, Susie's tsundere and light yandere tendencies show deep, complex feelings for the hero of space and time, most likely repressed romantic feelings. Case so in point, in chapter 2, Susie has a strong reaction to Birdley's breakdown when trying to solve the puzzle in Queen's Mansion. Like, this girl does not have a normal reaction to Birdley's boner, man. Like, she has gay up been counting down the days for something like this to go down, wanting to see Birdley's ego be smashed. Now, consider that with the other students, she passively dismisses them, but Birdley, for some odd reason, gets her this passionate. Look at her face when Birdley makes his Dark World debut. This is not a normal reaction to someone you don't have history with. Will we see more about their past in future chapters? Only time will tell. But if not, I'll be happy to fill in for what's left unshown. Much to the confusion of most reasonably minded people, Birdley is strangely not physically present in Chapter 3. As a matter of fact, our Superlord is only mentioned once in Chapter 3. And guess who mentions him? It's Susie. OMG. Girl finds Chris playing a video game alone by themselves in a dark room, one-on-one, without anyone else, seeing Chris engage in one of the most common hobbies in the world. And now, when she is again completely alone with Chris, where does her mind go? To Birdley. Now, she thinks she's being slick by trying to work it into the conversation, but come on. Anyone who has a higher than book reading literacy can tell what's really going on here. A certain blue bird is living rent-free in that dome. And honestly, the sesometers are off the charts here. I can imagine these two bonding over their shared trauma, providing solace and comfort for the other, as well as helping each other grow from it, while also discovering the hidden aspects of the other, like Susie's more vulnerable side and Birdley's part of the prophecy, and his hidden power of these two would also be pretty damn funny too. Two explosive personalities finding their place in the world sounds like a rip-snortin' good time. As well, this has to be one of the most LGBT ships in all of Deltarune. The gayness level is off the charts with this one. I'll probably do an LGBT gayness scaling list sometime, but for now, know this has got to be some of the most gay energy packed into its ship in all of Undertale and Deltarune, with both Birdley and Susie being pansexual. For honorable mentions, we have Bester and Birdgoriel. Bester is the ship of Berdly Well-Endowed Masterlord and Chester Holiday. While it's cute in its own right, Birdly x Birdly just barely beat it out. Birdgoriel is the ship between Birdly Seraph Typeface, Asgore Ezra Dreamer, and Toriel Avette McRoberts. While this ship is the linchpin of the entire Undertale universe, I'm restricting this list to only ships with Berdly Well-Endowed Masterlord. Perhaps one day Birdly Seraph Typeface will get his own ship top 10, but for now, let's get on to our last and final ship. The best Birdly ship has got to be Berdly. Taking what made the last two entries great, and with them, making a ship worth more than the sum of its parts. This ship is in equal parts emotionally gripping, humorous, thematically interesting, and tragic. The game is always making it pretty damn obvious that this ship is the end game for the characters. Given how much time Susie and Noelle spend time with each other, it's obvious that they're constantly teasing Berdly as canon. Like, I'm pretty sure Noelle has feelings for Susie. I could be wrong, but that is a working theory of mine, given the two's relationship with Birdley. This ship is also the gayest LGBT ship out of all the ships in the Undertale multiverse, even surpassing the gayness of Birdgoriel. Since Deltarune is a game about finding your true self in the face of those who seek to control you, this could not be any more of a thematically appropriate ship. And if you look closer at the color theory of the game, you can see this ship is being teased subconsciously via the colors of the characters corresponding to the colors of the Pan Pride flag. If we remember back to Chapter 3's Polycule subplot, we can clearly see that these are stand-ins for our characters. La Nino is Noelle, El Nina is Susie, and Rules Card is an actually kinda mean-spirited stand-in for Chris, with the original Starwalker being a very thinly veiled stand-in for Birdley. Need I mention how funny these three would be together? I mean, they're like Ed, Edd, and Eddy, if Ed, Edd, and Eddy was an obvious yaoi bait. This ship, while fulfilling to the heart, is not fulfilling to the prophecy. This is the future that W.D. Gaster has been working for over a decade to prevent. The thought of Birdley being in yet another sexually and emotionally fulfilling poly relationship is something that angers him down to the core of where his heart once had the potential to be. So, no matter how sweet this ship might be, it is fated to be stopped due to Birdley's valiant sacrifice against the Dark Doctor. So as it stands, while this ship is very sweet, it is still just a wishful fantasy and a hotfix ship. Okay guys, that's my list. I would once again like to reiterate that these are my opinions. I would love to see people share their love of BS online, and I mean really stick their face in the BS and share that love with everyone. Thank you for watching, and subscribe for more content like this. Sayonara. Birdly Fan 1031.